Hello, lovely and dear Scorpios. This is your horoscope for November 2024. November will welcome us with new moon in your first house, in your sign, which is amazing. On 1st November, we have new moon at 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born on 1st November, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this new moon. And this new moon has a solid background because Saturn will send amazing beams to that new moon from your house of enjoyment, from your house of love. Whatever you're going to start around this new moon on 1st November, related to yourself, your well-being, your priorities and plans for this life, seems like Saturn will support that and will make it for a long term and a long life, decision, because Saturn will be situated in your house of love for yourself and for your life. And it seems like there is a huge turn. You are starting your life from a new sort of perspective, from renewed self. All the new moons in our sign is an opportunity to reset, to press that reset button of our life, to change our life, to live our life differently than we used to. And it's an amazing opportunity for you, given from the heaven. Now, because it will be positive one also, it seems like it will be related how you live your life and related to your love life as well, romance, especially if you're dating someone, and it might be related to your children as well, to kids. To also could be your habits and hobbies. For example, you might start a new hobby which will stay with you a whole life. You might discover a new talent there within yourself, like creativity, like singing, for example, or dancing talent, to show that talent to the whole world. And also it might be about business. If you're starting a business around this 1st November, that business will be hugely successful, but it will require a lot of effort, hard work, discipline, and dedication. Because Saturn is no joke planet, it will require all those things, but it will gift you with longevity. That business will stay all the, wins and stay strong. It will stay for a long time with you and might be successful if you put an effort there. Now, and around this new moon, you might actually sign some paper around that business because Saturn rules your paper houses, signing houses. Whatever, you will start around this new moon, remember one thing, it will be for a long time with you. Now, most of month, your rulers, why rulers? Because my dear Scorpios, you have two, one modern and one ancient. Now, your modern ruler, Pluto, will oppose your ancient ruler, Mars. In this case, both of them are ruler of that new moon, and they will be in opposition to each other. A bit of a tense aspect, which will be exact on 3rd November. So whatever you're planning, avoid 3rd November. It will be Sunday, so Monday actually, to try to avoid it too. Better to postpone everything to 5th November, the best option. Now, Pluto is a planet of transformation, and Mars is a planet of aggression also, and also a war, and also, among other things, our desire, our actions, passion. Now, Pluto opposing Mars, this opposition aspect, it's more about relationship. And Pluto will be in your 3rd house, Mars will be in your 9th house. Seems like it might be related on media, some relationship. You might be quarreling or arguing with someone over internet, like online. Or for some of you, it might be about a foreign person, someone who speaks a different language or from a different background. You might be communicating with someone who you will have a tension with, like an argument with there. And again, it might be over internet. Also, or it might be in the real life too, and that person will be a foreigner, most likely, or speaking different language. For some of you, it might be about your teacher or your mentor. And there might be sort of an argument there and tension between you and that person. Or it might be related to your work, like daily activities. Because Mars naturally also rules your a house of work, my dear Scorpios. And it seems like there might be some tension at your work too, over some contract or with your relatives, or it could be actually your siblings too, because Pluto is in your third house. Now, third house rules our siblings, relatives, and neighbors. Now, there will be other bunch of planets that they will try to mediate between, this tension between those two, Pluto and Mars. And those planets will be Neptune, Uranus, and Mercury. Those three will try to save, this argument to make it positive. And Uranus and Neptune will be in your love houses. And it seems like your one and only sweetheart, your better half, will try to help you. And here, universe tells you to listen to that person. Whether you're married or not, but the long-term partner, in love. Listen to her or his advices on that situation and follow that. Then that situation, that tension, whatever is there, some relationship will be saved with other person. But here, universe is telling you to listen to your business partners or love partners, like your wife or husband. November 4th will be huge because Mars, your ruler, ancient ruler, my dear Scorpios, will change signs. When Mars changes signs, it's a huge thing. You will feel it, we usually feel it because topic of life is changing, energies of life is changing. Mars will move into your 10th house of career. For the last, 2 months, it was occupying your 9th house, giving you all the desire and action, traveling, because Mars is the planet of movement and you've been quite a lot of traveling for the last 2 months. It is a possibility for some of you. For some of you, you might have been studying quite diligently because, 9th house is the house of education, and Mars gives you that desire to learn something new. And for some of you, it might have been writing quite a lot, especially a book or researching something, because, 9th house is about the research. But when Mars on 4th November moves into your 10th house, it will highlight your career, where you want to be. Like, what is the highest point in your career that you want to achieve? What is that position? Like, what that position is named, for example. Is that a CEO, or is that some sort of a manager or chief position or middle manager, whatever is that? Like, career house is activated by this Mars, and it will give you that power to go after that position, to try to aim, to try to, lobby and all this stuff. And 9th house is also a house of social status. Mars here might give you a lot of thoughts and actions that you will be taking up around your social status, around your influence and reputation. What is your social status in a bigger society? Are you, for example, let's say you're employed, or are you unemployed, or are you married, or are you a parent? All these things will all of a sudden will come forth as soon as Mars moves into your 10th house on 4th November. November 15 will be one of the biggest days because two huge events happening on November 15. Saturn, planet of restrictions and planet of responsibilities and hard work, moving direct in your 5th house. From June 29, it was retrograding, meaning moving backwards, slowing down, giving you retrospective thoughts for the past half year, around your children, for example, or kids, or in general parenthood. Also around your business and around the love for your life, for example, and around how you love yourself as well, because 5th house is all about, first of all, love of your life and love for yourself. Now, Saturn gives more subtle and mental, retrospective thoughts when it's moving backwards. And it seems like for the last half year, you've been thinking a lot around those things. Approach, like your take on how to enjoy life, how to enjoy being you, and about topics of kids, for example. Or if you're a business owner, then and if you're not, but you're planning to open a business, then it was giving you a lot of background noise, sort of mental noise, like time to time popping up in your mind around those topics. Or flirting, romance, and dating in general, strategy of how to date someone, for example. But when Mars moves direct on 15th of November, all those things all of a sudden will become more clear, and you will sort of have a perspective, and you finally will decide where is your stance, where is your like real self, and you might start taking actions on those topics that I've mentioned just now. You might finally see the route, finally see the path, how to approach whatever you've been thinking, and you finally might set your mind up actually on some goal. November 15, I said, as I said, it will be a big one. And second event that will happen is a full moon. Full moon will happen in your house of love, long-term partnerships, and also committed partnerships, and marriage, wedding, proposal house, and house of business, of course, partnerships too. Now, full moon here culminating something, that is already in your life. If you've been dating, this will be your full moon probably to propose or to get proposed, because, Uranus, planet of surprises and shocking news, will conjunct that full moon. Seems like something which you won't expect is coming into your life and related to your committed partnerships. If you're not married, it might be a proposal. Either you planning or to you planned, or full moon here might also take up to the next level your relationship. All of a sudden, let's say, decide to move in together if you just like recently start dating, and it will be positively shocking to you news. Those of you who are born around 15th of November will be affected the most, because this full moon is happening at 24 degrees. Now, Neptune and Pluto will support that full moon. You see how Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, those all karmic and heavy planets, are supporting that. And it seems like whatever will be happening around this full moon will be fated one, more like of a destiny, but sort of a shocking and surprising one. You will love that, this full moon events that will be happening here. And, Neptune and Pluto will support that full moon, as I said, from your 5th house and house of contractual agreements. Seems like whatever paper you will be signing, it will be related to your love life. And also, if you say that it's not related to my life, love life, I'm happily married, or I'm happily single, then it might be about business partnership, because 7th house rules all sorts of contractual agreements that we sign paper, and seems like here there will be surprise news for you, that you're gonna unite forces in business with someone, and shockingly positive, someone. And one more thing that I also want to say, that, if it's a love and it's not only like a marriage, it might be actually a divorce too, which will be the surprising one. But for some reason, it will be a happy one. You will be happy with the outcome. And seems like you will be happy that all things turned out this way, my dear Scorpios. So interesting what it might be. Please leave a comment. It's so interesting what is this full moon is bringing into your life, because it has that surprise element, Uranus, together blended in. Now, November 19, your ruler, Pluto, going into your 4th house. Now, this is a historic moment of our century, not even of this month, because Pluto will never go back into your 3rd house, where it spent the last 16 to 15 years in our lifetime. Pluto moves very slow, and the next 20 years it will spend in your 4th house. That's how historic moment is this. Now, Pluto in your 4th house will give a lot of transformation. You know the word transformation very well, my dear Scorpios, from the moment you were born. And, Pluto in your 4th house will give you new sort of, in the next 20 years, new understanding and insights of what it takes to be family, who makes up a family, where you call home, and what it what is it to have real estate, for example? Where you call your base, for example, as a house? Where is your roots? Because fourth house is our roots, where we come from. And fourth house is also immigration. Pluto here might give you huge immigration once in a lifetime that you will remember forever. And wherever you immigrate, you will stay there for a long time, it seems like. But Pluto in the fourth house, because fourth house rules immigration, seems like might change your base, like location there. And in the next 20 years, it will transform your life and what it takes specifically to be mother. My dear lady Scorpios, this is what Pluto will give you: lessons and trials, and of course transformations around. November 26th, we have Mercury, our little planet of communication and ideas and signing contracts, going retrograde, moving backwards, slowing down in your house of income. Now, when Mercury retrogrades, try to avoid signing important papers, making important deals, because Mercury rules commerce and trade, and it's happening in your second house. And if you happen to, receive a job offer by the end of November, and you happen to sign during Mercury retrograde, remember that you might change later on that job. It won't be for long, or you might not like it, or the, requirements and what they've been offering might turn out as something else, not what you thought it will be. So there might be some changes, happening, because always when Mercury retrograde, all those mix-ups and mishaps happen usually. People, late to their flights or mixing the dates and numbers. This is what Mercury likes to do when it's going backwards. During Mercury retrograde, it's not advisable to do any plastic surgeries or any planned surgeries. Of course, when we have unplanned surgery or emergency, of course we do. But if you have a planned surgery, try to postpone it until Mercury goes direct. And, because also Mercury is all about technology, here try to avoid buying any telephones or TVs or any kitchen appliances or any technological stuff which has chip in it, because if you buy them, then it might be that they have some issues with them, or you might not like them, or something should have been changed, or you need to buy something else also to make it work. So there are like quite a lot of mess up there around could be happening when you buy things during Mercury retrograde. And it's happening in your second house. It's a house of work, house of income, and financial house. There might be some confusions, so try to be on your top game around your budget, counting, and all those Excel sheets that you have at work and at home around your finances, my dear Scorpios. Don't forget to check your rising sign and moon sign. Most of the cases, rising sign is the strongest because it, for most people, but for some people, it might be moon sign. So check all three and compare which one affecting you the most now in this period of your lifetime, my dear Scorpios. Now, stay tuned for the separate video of Pluto going into your fourth house, because I will make a huge separate video because it's a huge topic that requires a separate video. And stay tuned for that one, and love you all. Bye bye.